What's good? As I came in, I had a keyboard on the floor and I kicked it and it changed scene. So if you were wondering what that was. Right, how are we? You watch Riverdale? I'm very behind, but yes. I think I'm like a season behind. I imagine you're going to tell me something that's very up to date, so I'm afraid. Normally when people ask that question, they're like, the latest thing that happened. I'm so behind. The last thing that I saw, have you seen any of the Twitter shit about it? I haven't. Twitter? No, I haven't seen anything. Is there beef? Which one is later? This one. Should I turn off the piss warning, shouldn't I? Hey. Right, we're back to it. Kazuma. Excellent work. That was superb. Oh, I'm just brilliant. I'm amazing. Looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping. And you were grinding your teeth. No, just about what's happened recently is even further out there than usual. Well, I was going to say the last thing that I saw was there was a bomb that went off underneath Archie's bed, and then everybody woke up in a mirror dimension, parallel Riverdale, where there were witches. That was the last thing I saw. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Oh, Kazuma, you... We've exposed your phantom lady at last. Yeah! Miss Josiah Brett. I would pronounce that Josiah. Or Giselle, maybe? I don't know. She's English, so I'd imagine it's not like a French. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. I was dying to get back to this, because like, it was so fucking beefy. You had a waiter that was actually an undercover policeman. I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. This young gentlewoman, thanks to her detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene. Did you see what happened with that? Yeah, it's as crazy as witches and alternate Riverdales. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, more out there doesn't really make sense to me, because I feel like we jumped the shark already. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And being from Kulak, I just picked it up. Bang! So there was two guns. Didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. So the waiter... So the waiter wanted to pin me for it. Ah, here. There you are. Well done, both of you. This is the teacher. This is Tom Selleck. Professor Mikatoba. It seems I was right. What if he was already dead and the gun misfired? Oh, so they... yeah, because they don't do an autopsy yet, do they? So they only found one bullet hole. And they were like, well, this seems pretty open and shut. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. Check Dr. Wilson's ankle, because I was bent down with the gun, so maybe I shot a second bullet into his ankle. Or I shot him in the mouth, and that filling wasn't a filling at all, it was a bullet. Learn from the Brits, though. What do you mean? It makes no difference, lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. Kazuma. So that's your stance, huh? I was afraid you'd feel that way. Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. Oh yeah, make it fucking my fault. Brilliant. Sent outside the country to learn, but to Britain of all places. Yeah. Wonderful judicial system over there. Say, I very much want to know the truth. Oh, Mikitoba's looking for the beef. He's like, this is real gossipy or something. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? He was my son. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMaine, and it was I who invited him. Oh, it's your fault. I didn't know that before. Sorry, I realised Neve said hello and I completely missed it as well. How are we? The victim was a university professor from Great Britain and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Yes, let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. So I assume she's like, I don't know, witness protection. And I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to squash your case. Uh-oh. That's no good. I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. I specialise in bird law, sir. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Okay. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. I need to learn all of those suffixes. I don't know what each one means. I know san is like friend. Defendant Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside this courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it. I can't wait to see what fucking happens. I'm bound to. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Yes. Kazuma. What? What if I actually did shoot him? I mean, thank you, really. What for? If you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Ah. Best mates. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. Kazuma's great. I like him a lot. In our monologue. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. I've made some investments to be more cinematic, as you can see. Tank the trial and screw him over. Of course, I can't let Kazuma go to England. He'll die over there. Save the thank yous for after the trial. Sure thing. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. So the college's cafeteria is on a street? With an extra large portion, of course. I didn't realise Kazuma was such a fat fuck. No. Courtroom 2. He's on that Naruto diet. Yeah. Just fucking horse and food into you. Have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Ugh. Sorry. Let the government scrutinise. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forge with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Our nation founders? Flounders, does it mean? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. Very political, this Cosmo, isn't he? You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. I have no idea if I'm saying that right still. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Oh. Gets so fired up. Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. The treaty is that easily broken is based on nothing can't. Yeah, 100%. And why would you want to treaty with England anyway? Hey. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student. So's Kazuma. And one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. I didn't kill anybody. I mean, a country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. And if the lady turns out to be British diplomat to Japan, then it's an issue. Fucking MI6. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system that exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jedi. We actually have her in. Your Excellency. What a fucking hat. I'm gonna say Giselle, because I don't want to come across stupid. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Put it away, will you? Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Oh, you horny bastard. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosono. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my true... Yeah, we know all about you already. Where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. This is very funny. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. I said a few things to you. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Yeah, I think I did. Didn't I? They're English, they're Westaboos. Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Why is everybody horny? What's going on? Your powers of description are sorely lacking. Kazuma, why are you all fucking horny? Once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. She's like, sorry, I don't speak Japanese. He's talking to me. What? Yeah. They've never seen a white woman before. What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. But I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. Fucking Westaboos, man. Hello, I love Sherlock Holmes and doing opium. Surely Solid Snake Jr. knows English. As far as I can tell. Surely. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. He does know English. Yes, you're fucking spot on. You'll obviously do fine in England, Cosima. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryanosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Fuck's sake. All this gendered language, what's going on? Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. Did your dainty female fingers pull a trigger on a gun? Are they capable of such a strength of feet? That was nearly funny. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I thought she was whispering. She says, yes. I was just about to say, they're going to do that. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. What a bitch. She'd like to apologise for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau, of course. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? How am I going to cross-examine somebody in English? That's what I want to know. Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? English. Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. What? I did in my arse. Apologies, Judge. An absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. The English! Fortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the courtroom the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Wow, 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 wow. English, wow, wow. Okay. A frightening and sorrowful sight. What, she giving me a fucking essay? I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. We could have told him that for free. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Yeah, I look like the type to get into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Wow, 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 wow. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Humph. This is a condemning testimony. No! I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Here, what's the fucking... You black-hearted blackguard. Okay, you don't need to use the word black twice in such a negative context. And look at this Snow White angel. Ah, here, hold on. Clearly he wasn't shot to death then. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel... A lot of fucking black dark. What's going on here? Like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Ugh. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. What fucking relevance has that got? Oh, as you can see, there was nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. The swan is a gun. It's a turret. Unless and until the precise location where a witness is to have a hidden weapon can be shown, this is moot. The hat, her arse. She's got a whole extra fucking person in there. There are no pockets in my outfit, I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those were the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous! If only I was allowed to lift up her dress I could... Okay, hold on. Perhaps I should not think about ripping off a woman's clothes in court. The old prison pocket. Yep. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. 2 guns. Didn't I say 2 guns? I'm a detective. Which means the lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, and that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart. What? The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Frowning and sorrowful sight. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. If she has no pockets, how did she pay for the food? After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Only guns around here are these guys. Oh, wah, bah. And as much as fucking damage I could do with these kings, couldn't shoot a bullet. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been a culprit. Oh. Batteries wasted in the controller from her purse that she carried. Yeah. Is she carrying her purse there? My current worry is that's not something that we have as like a piece of evidence. So I don't know how we like, what do we point to? Okay, turn the controller back on. I did bring spare batteries because I knew. Okay. Can I look at the court record? How do I... Or will I press? I'll press on this. He was unable to eat, you say? No, that's not the bit that I wanted to... That's because he just has a tooth removed at Hotta Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yeah. She heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. exactly as it was left. To travel to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. I was gonna call him... Can I get done for Twitch TOS for bullying a video game character? Probably not, right? Because I know simp is a bad word on here, but he is an absolute categorical. Other than some carbonated water. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. Okay. Is it? It is, yeah. Some people got banned. And for saying... Jeez. I can't give a... I can't just run down the bad words. So, like... The word that is used to describe particularly bland Caucasian people, which is shared with a particularly bland salted treat. People have been banned for saying that. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witnesses? Is it meaningful? Extraction with the use of anesthesia. Extraction, so we had a 2 yeah. Yeah, we've already done this. I can't imagine going to the doctor. Yes, the steak is the key. A woman can't eat steak. Yeah, women can't eat red meat. No food or drink. Did it say that? Alright. Stop being a baby, will you? So it said no food or drink. No food or other than water. It will say other than water. Carbonated water though. Oh. No, there's no glass. He wasn't drinking water. There's no second glass. Is that a bottle of wine? Yeah, it won't let me like examine it anymore. Like when I'm clicking on it, nothing happens. So I guess we're to take for granted that it's water. But there's only one glass. That last statement of yours had a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. What is this? Come on. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Very well. Miss Bratt, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. She didn't say fucking anything. Going to remember that one. The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. Okay, so I can get like sentences added. Do I? This is just a history of... Let's press on this. I'm gonna press on this. But can you prove it? Yeah, okay. Right. Absolutely. I verified it personally. Excuse me? Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. I'm beginning to think there was a reason that this fellow was fucked into a fucking restaurant undercover. The Honourable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess. There was obviously no need to take any further probing into the matter. Yes, because she is a Snow White angel that does no bad. Was there no permission given for any further probing on the matter, perhaps? Oh, did she deny? Think what you will, but you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm. The prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. Wah 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 wah. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office has told you to get that woman out of here. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she is only too happy to cooperate to testify in court here today. Of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Fuck off, you little cunt. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. Ah, I'm learning. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shun him, which is out and out totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. She's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for those flapping red ribbons. Yeah, cool, man. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose our testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well, I feel half dead already. I'm floundering a little bit. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony doesn't make me feel any better either. First thing you do is press her out of your statements to seem even slightly off to you. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. Okay.
Yes!
Okay, tell me more about this argument that I had. All I did was when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing... Anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry. Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. Then fucking tell her, you spy. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all speak English. Fuck's sake. Fluent. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. To find something that will unravel her testimony. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and I stood up to leave.
Yes!
Tell me more about this. I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expected to be attacked by my own side. Hey! Oh, Liam is here, is he? Gift subscription. Oh, he gifted you 6 months. Oh, hey. Sick. Coolaboola. Nevertheless, defendant, you cannot deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yeah. But I always have a gun in my hand. What about all the times that there wasn't a gunshot that I had a gun in my hand? I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me. Not this beautiful angel! Dirty. Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. Seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Okay, so it's not that. I've argued that, I've argued that, I've argued that. I've pressed on this, haven't I? Yes. What were you meeting them for? After 2 PM in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? Objection! You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? Oh my god. English and French. No. Ugh. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems, so it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment in the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic, what shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. Sick. What happened after that? I ordered a beef steak for myself and Professor, and I said cheers over a glass. I guess I just have to present the picture with only one glass in it. A bottle of carbon. Oh, it is carbonated water. There's only one glass. I can't. Where is your glass? Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask about this again? So both you and this. Oh, so I didn't press on this. Yes, being the waiter, I poured 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Okay. So maybe now I can present it. The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Oh, she didn't know they ate beef. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Alright. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, well, what does it matter what it is? Come to think of it, the first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow I feel like there's something out of place. Oh my god, are you looking directly at me to give me the fucking hint? This is what I was trying to fucking do. Oh, present is a different button.
Yes.
That's the... I'm a dummy dum-dum. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. Very odd. What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Fuck off, you bald cunt. I'm trying to talk. It's the cheers. The cheers. Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true... Where's the other glass? You're quite right, Counsel. There's only one glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make in the case? Kazuma, back me up. Minutiae, you say. Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try and tell me you can clink with only 1? She was being a fucking alcoholic and chugging out of the bottle. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Did she steal a glass? Oh, wow. Inspector, what did the lady say? Inspector, what does she think of my mustache? The drama. It is very dramatic. I love it. It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and I thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all. She's saying. Why? Good gracious. But where did she hide it? In the same place she could have hidden a gun, perhaps. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? But if she concealed a glass, she could hide a gun. So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? That screams guilty, doesn't it? Doesn't it? This can't be put down to mischief. Clearly the glass was the weapon. The English, in their Sherlock Holmesy way, manufactured a glass gun that shattered as it was shot, hiding any evidence of a gun. I hid it in my hat, of course. She slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations, you've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Hold on. Stop it. I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Do try to keep up. I'm gonna come over there and shave the rest of your fucking head, you little bastard. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. What she forgot to mention was her handbag, which would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Soda. Desu, my friends. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? Excuse me. It's really very simple. She had 6 guns in her handbag, which is en vogue, as you would say, ouch, you know. There must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting Inspector Hasanoga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? This dude needs to chill. He needs to fucking put it away. No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor. Could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Jesus. Saw the ends, I got scared. Order, order, order! What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag to show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Oh, you're fucking coughing up a lung now again. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. ACAB. Defund the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. You don't just look in a lady's handbag. Yeah. Unless she's a filthy murderer. And, worse still, English. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. Hey, did the gun you hold misfire and hit the detective? Is he hiding a bullet wound? Well, I don't know. That might come up later. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten. Oh, this fucking guy. He bled out. He was shot by his dentist. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. Oh, here we go. Is he just going to admit that he shot the guy? Oh, sorry. I forgot to say. I shot him. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. It's a fucking see-through monstrosity. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. I'll blow your mind, Judge. In the future, there will be clothes that look like that. Apparently, meshwork bags like this are the height of fashion in London at the moment. I'd wonder, is that historically accurate? So the contents are clearly visible? Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. You let me talk about this for fucking ages, and you just didn't bring that up. She's a fucking smug smile as well. Wah! Order, order. Inspector Hasanoga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. I want to take a look. Is that the missing coin in his hand? Oh, we need to take a look. Photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. Can I see the court record? I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. I need to take a look at this picture. What is that? Is that just blood? It looks like an upside down cow. Okay. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. This pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, and I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. It looks like he has a brand on his hand. It looks like a fucking tattoo or something, doesn't it? Kazuma. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. You mean this is it? Is it really? Did I fuck up? But the weak are meat while the strong eat. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. No, he doesn't have to go to England anymore. Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no way to force the trial to continue. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. Surely there's something I can look at? Or is somebody gonna fucking storm me in? Wait! Can I examine or present or... But I can't present anything. I guess I'll just let this play out. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Oh, wait! Your Excellency! I knew that was coming. I don't think you can rule on this case yet. Yeah, the teacher! The teacher sent your woman back to get something. His amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then the ruling on this case at this time would be out of the question. Objection! So I just have to examine the thing. It shows the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying in the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. Oh, I'm gonna make a fucking blind guess. He has a tattoo. He was Yakuza. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right if I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hasanoka submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant details which you have alluded. I like... what is this? I can't examine anymore, I just have to present.
Yes!
What is this? Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. Is this true? It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. That is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Archie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, we cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. A flash burn from a muzzle? Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. Oh, she's very fucking important, isn't she? She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What you're thinking? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure, but if I don't keep pushing then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am. If we can just link that burn to the case, we can do that. We might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on this victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it. I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the colour draining from Miss Brett's face. I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means. So then, the defence will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. It's not the shape of the thing, is it? No. Oh my god! It was a cow. Yes, Your Excellency, I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further would really be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. Wow. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? Objection! She poisoned him, and I shot him by accident, but he was already dead, so it's fine. You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Bam.
Yes.
The beefsteak. Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah. The emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. I fucking love this game.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. I'd fucking sue if a plate burned me that bad. That's right, like, he must have been dead and he just left his arm on it.
Objection!
I don't think the gunshot was what killed him. Sadly, Professor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanoga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. 90 degrees for a plate? It's inconceivable that a victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream out in pain. What's he investigating in the first place? That's what I'm wondering, and I haven't had the chance to ask. And yet, Inspector Hasanoga had never heard the professor scream, not on this day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would without any question have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Turns out it's a front for the Yakuza, and they're shitting that an unrelated murder happened there. It actually wasn't us this time. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Unless he was already dead. Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. I love my little reverb button. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. He's a masochist. He liked the pain. To be frank, he could have been sedated still from the dentist and his jaw didn't work to scream. Imagine. He was already dead! He was already dead! No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting I'm not just suggesting, Your Excellency. I'm asserting he was already dead. So fucking dramatic. I love this. My heart is racing. Maybe for a weak Japanese man, but for a great British gentleman. Dr. John Wilson was actually a strong man. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Oh my god, this music. That's madness! Order, 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 please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right, you're absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. Don't talk shit about my mate. No, Professor Archie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. You're bald. You've no friends. You're a simp. You're a loser. Plus L, plus ratio. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered a burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Ooh, the extraction. She poisoned him through the open wound. No! She took the glass because that's what she used to poison him. She didn't take her glass, she took his glass. Because there would be traces of poison in it. The court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, as we now believe that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate. The judge thinks we're cool now. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett. Cancel your 2 o'clock. You'll have to forget about your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency. The justice... Oh, fuck, I skipped it. What did I say? The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. She speaks in fucking fluent Japanese. What was that smile? Yeah, she doesn't know what the fuck we've been talking about for the past 10 minutes. We're all just shouting in Japanese and she's like, so can I go? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. I knew it! Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. You bitch! You fucking bitch! Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? For the lol, it was funny. My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. Prison. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. You bitch. You fucking bitch. But it seems that the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. What a heel turn. What a fucking heel turn. Hit Stone Cold's music. We are truly honoured by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford. He is fucking down bad. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Rinosuke. Witness testimony. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. Because it wasn't an autopsy. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Has she been sworn in? I think so. Ouchie did have to, like, there was a break and then she came in. And he was like, oh, all the paperwork, da 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 da. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. You bitch. You fucking bitch. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Oh my god. I hope this is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Jesus Christ. Forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. Oh my god. Simp. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. You're going to prison. Amen? Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. He respects me. I'm sure I don't need to remind your counsel that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. Yeah, for now. Yeah. Okay. Effective. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Alright. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Okay. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. If there's some way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me, but of course this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Okay. I would like to take a look at the post-mortem and just verify. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhages from the pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Fatal hemorrhages. There's not that much blood. Yeah, that might be just because it's a video game for kids. Okay, I'm gonna press. I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that.
Yes!
But his hand was on the steering wheel plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? You've been looking at my bleeding. What fun! You hadn't realised. She's absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, right? Fuck off. Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honourable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? You bitch. What's going on? I don't know. I think my tiny brain fucking... Well, I can't. Anyway. I have no idea what the fuck this is. When the waiter brought my steak, we raised our glasses and toast. One of the glasses that you removed. It's kind of irritating that, like, I have a theory, but I'm not at the point where I have enough evidence to even start investigating it.
Yes.
Is there anything to be said for just pressing on everything? You were drinking carbonated water. Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. I do. Which explains why you ordered that drink. Correct, waiter. Exactly as you say, sir. Although, the plate was in front of him. Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Why was the steak in front of him? Damn you. I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. Fuck off. Anyway. Shit! I didn't mean to... Don't worry, it's not... No, tell me. I accidentally went all the way to the end. They toasted...
Yes.
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us, as there was no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, I wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. But he also it must have been him eating it. The fact the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest, until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ah. If there's some other way.
Yes.
Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. She is medical. She's fucking... What does she study? Hold on, what does she study? She's like... he was professor of medicine, and she was studying under him. So if anybody was able to poison... The army guy also had steak, and the coin went missing. Perhaps he swapped them to hide the coin. I still think the baby ate the coin though. Yeah, that would be funny. I wonder, are we going to call them back? As our police force thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hasanoga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If heaven forbid you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Can you pick him to take this down? No, it's selected everybody for me, and I just get, like, it plays the whole scene, and then I get to, like, cross-examine. So, unless the prosecution calls them back. I don't think I get to cross-examine. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought. Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honour, I, Takatsuchi Yoichi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up, Per. Yes, evidence.
Yes.
Press on this. Inferior, what do you mean by that? Guess you're about to be made in this. Yeah. Here, like, he's clearly, like, visually, we're supposed to get the idea of, like, a 50-year-old man. And she's a student. I know it's Japan, but come fucking on, like. In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination, but in this country you investigate once and that's the end of it, isn't that so? She seems to know a lot about how it's investigated. La Carnival is open for business as usual today. Yeah, there was a murder here 2 days ago. We're getting half off on the coffee. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Excuse me? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. Haha, a killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a... Yep. Is the detective paler? I didn't notice. What? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. You mean about Miss Brett? Is he paler? Is he gonna die on the stand? That would be so fucking funny. Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hasanoga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Okay. I like this. So I need to press her on that last statement again.
Yes.
Inferior? What do you mean by that? We've just been through this. In this country, investigate once and that's the end of it. We're just saying everything again. Yes, there it is again. So everybody's just happy to say the same shit again. Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find that they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. Throw the sword at him. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, right again. All it has to do with the witness marker. What marker? Ooh, okay. Who's the person actually making the current statement? but I can move back and forth. Moving the marker left and right with the D-pad, you can turn your attention to the other people on the stand. It's a new technique you'll then be able to pursue. If you can catch the person at the right time, you might uncover some new information. You ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand? Take a good look around. Pursue him with A. Here we go.
Wait.
So I move over here.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Gah! What's the meaning of this? He's gonna fucking die. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. Looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hatsunoga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? What's it gonna be? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. Please. By all means. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hasanoga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief. He took the drink, he took the glass, he drank from it, and now he's poisoned a little bit too. That's why he's coughing up blood. It looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this for example. Oh god, did he accidentally poison himself? That's what I think. Take this for example. But is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question, and apparently kept in his back pocket and went to court. Yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been open 3 days now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anybody says. Alright, okay, fucking look. There's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. All it will take is some police chief's son with a special copybook that kills people. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Where's the cork? I need to see a fucking syringe hole in the cork. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervour. Right. Let me take a look at this bottle. Examine. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Cosmo? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. But what does it say? That's what I was asking. Go to France and ask. Yeah, well, alright. You could just say you don't know. Okay. There is water in it. I can't find anything out of place. Can't find anything out of place. So this carbonated water was the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip to keep me going. You can't do that. For one thing, it's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Renasuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? No, I was fucking 10 steps ahead. I want that on the record. I was 10 steps ahead. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. How do we check? I can't find anything out of place. Oh, okay. Sorry. I just wanted to see. So, do I, when she says, please do show me, if I present the bottle of water as evidence,
Yes!
and I say, what if it's poisoned? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this carbonated bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? He's panicked now because he was drinking from it. Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only person who could possibly have done it. There's only one person who could possibly. They left it. Come on, Rhea, catch up. We solved that ages ago. We did. Giselle Brett, it was you! You fucking swan-headed bitch! This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. Can I get him dismissed for fucking... Oh, I don't know. It seems like he has too much stake in this trial. Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Fuck your treaty. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. Huh? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Grrr. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the... Oh my god. Kitten's got claws. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Mommy. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. Oh, now she's getting very fucking... Ooh. I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I do believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contained poison or not. Yeah, I drank it. I gave it the best test possible. Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it! Naturally, we tested the inside of this bottle and its contents. And? What did you find? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water. In this country. The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No! It is a British poison indeed. We're on the same wave. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Now she's being very fucking... But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Poison also could have been in the glass. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because she did take the glass. I think the cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, the shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. I keep forgetting to do the reverb. Does it help? Is the reverb really shit on your end? Does it make it unlistenable? The court wishes to apologise for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no. Nah. Cool. Because I like doing it. I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defence. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Cosmo? The glass, the glass! I have nothing more. Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Can I present?
Hold it.
Here she is, to save the fucking day. Her. Please wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikitoba, judicial assistant to the offense. Mikitoba, so she's fucking Tom Selleck's daughter. Or wife, it is Japan. Mikitoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. Oh, it is his daughter because he's in fucking love. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued. Right. I do like that the all of the episodes, so to speak, or the parts, are just about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes. It's nice clean for a single stream. I appreciate every single one of you for stopping by. I will call it there. I don't want to start something new and then get sucked into another 2 hours, so I'll be here till 1 in the morning. A little bit of housekeeping. I've been thinking, the thing about Twitch is a great place to stream when you can bring people from elsewhere in to watch you. You don't really get new viewers on stream, like you guys know that from being in the chat. Like, new people don't really come in or even stick around. So I've been thinking about moving. I'll still stream like the usual mainstream on Twitch, because I do know that like you guys have subs and stuff here, and like the infrastructure is here. I do think the extra stuff like this, I might do on YouTube instead, and see how that works. Because I've never streamed on YouTube for anything other than I did run like the school's graduation during COVID. We did that on YouTube. I don't know how you guys watch, on what devices you watch on. Would watching on YouTube become awkward? Because I'd just like to give it a go. I think new viewers on YouTube happen a little bit more. I wouldn't be doing it on the main THUp account. I'd be doing it on that account that I use to upload the VODs, because then they'd just be saved, and they get saved with chat as well, so I can probably take the chat off the screen. Less clutter. Just like a couple of new things I could do. Like it'd be nice to give it a try. It wouldn't. Good. then yeah, so next Wednesday I might try it on YouTube. And we just test it out. Nothing permanent, nothing set in stone, but I'd like to give it a try. Obviously, all the video and everything will look the same. It'll just be on a different website. But yeah, otherwise, if you're watching this VOD on YouTube, get excited. You might be able to watch the live thing on YouTube next time. But yeah, we'll call it an evening. I wish you all good night. I've been Dean. This has been TH It Up. And you've been terrific. Have a good night. Sleep tight. And dream about